Good day everyone! So you are looking through your YouTube videos of your favorite YouTubers, and then you see one of your favorite YouTubers using a Onewheel. That's a good idea. They seem to have fun. So what do? You open the browser, look for distributors or a store location that might sell Onewheels, and you go ahead purchase a Onewheel. The Onewheel arrives to your home. You look at your Onewheel and then you say, now what? Well, don't worry, I'm here to teach you how to ride a Onewheel. One thing that is very important before you start riding your Onewheel is the shoes that you wear. You need a good pair of shoes that you're comfortable in. I personally prefer the Converse because I always wear Converse. That's my everyday pair of shoes that I wear. They're comfortable, they're tight enough, and they have a flat sole so I can feel the board and the ground more. So you need to choose a pair of shoes that is comfortable for you, but that will stay on your feet. Sandals are not recommended for beginners. There's the possibility that you will fall from the Onewheel, so you need to be protected at all times. So the basic gear that I recommend is a helmet. You can find a lot of variety on the market. I prefer this one. Some people prefer the one with a full face. It's up to you, but a helmet is one of the most important gear that you will wear. Second gear that I recommend you to have are the wrist guard. Why wrist guard? Because if you fall, intuitively you will put your hands in front, so you want to have wrist guard not to injure your wrist. Make sure that the wrist guard that you choose have a long plate and it's not only gloves. Other gears that I wear, some Onewheelers like them, others don't. They are the elbow pads and the knee pads. One thing that we say is dress up for the fall, not for the ride. Now that we covered the safety gear, let's go on and learn how to Onewheel. When you have your Onewheel, you need to put the Onewheel on the floor to power the Onewheel. Otherwise, it will indicate an error. So I've put my Onewheel on the floor and I will push the power button. When you power on your Onewheel, the light on the front foot pad will light up white to indicate that the board is ready. Otherwise, the light will flash red. Take note of the number of flash it is giving you, and that will be your error number that you can look up in the guide or on the internet. If you leave the Onewheel on for a few minutes, it will turn itself off. So to make sure that your Onewheel is still on, you can just give it a tap. If there's resistance, the Onewheel is on. If there's no resistance, your Onewheel is off. And that's a good trick to make sure that the Onewheel's on, because if you stop to talk to someone for a while and then you want to get back on and be on your way, if the Onewheel is not on, you'll do a false start and your ego might take a bust. If you never done board sport before, I would highly suggest to ask someone for help or use a chair or something else to be able to grab it. What you will do is put your back feet on the back pad. The back pad doesn't have any sensor on it. It is just a pad. I also highly suggest you put your feet closer to the wheel as you can, because the closer to the wheel you are, the better control you will have of the board. Also, putting your feet to an angle towards the front will help you, if you ever fall, to run it out. The other leg, which will be the one in front. On the Onewheel, there's two sensors in front, on the heel and on the toe position. You want to put pressure on each pad equally. You will know if you put pressure on the pad equally because of the blue light that will light on the front foot pad, saying that the sensors are working. If I put pressure only on the front pad, the blue light will be on the front. If I put pressure on the back sensor, the blue light will be on the back. Before engaging the board, what you need to know is that the board will control the horizontal axis. You don't have to control that. What you need to control though is the front and back axis of the board, and that will come with experience. The more you ride the board, the better you will become. To engage the board, you need to make sure that your foot is touching both sensors. Hold on to something, or you don't, if you don't think you need it, and you will push on the board towards the ground. You don't want to stomp on it, you just want to lightly push it. You will hear the motor and feel the motor in your feet if it's engaged. The other thing that I really recommend before going for a ride is to dismount the board. There is 3 ways to dismount a Onewheel. The first one is only with the Onewheel pint. The Onewheel pint has what it's called a simple stop to help beginners. So what you want to do is come to a complete stop, lean to the back, the board will slightly roll and the motor will shut up and the back foot will drop. The next one is good for the Onewheel pint and the Onewheel XR. It is the lift of the heel. This one takes a little bit more practice because it's a little bit harder to keep your balance on the board. So always come to a complete stop. You want to lift your feet. You will hear the motor disengage and the board will drop. The third one is good for the pint and the XR also, is come to a complete stop and just up off the board, whether you off from the front or you up off the board to the back. So before going for a ride, I recommend that you practice engaging the motor and dismounting the Onewheel with the technique that you prefer. When you start to feel comfortable hopping on the Onewheel and dismounting the Onewheel, then you can go for a ride. And that part is quite easy. With the Onewheel, you don't need any remote. Only thing you need is your weight. So what you will do is engage the board, then keep your body centered over the wheel, but just bring your weight a little bit to the front and the board will move. If you have the simple stop on, you won't be able to go backward. If you do want to go backward, you can disable the simple stop feature with the app. You can practice on asphalt or, like me, on grass, but they both have their con. On the asphalt, if you fell, it's gonna hurt. On the grass, if you fell, there's a good chance that you don't get hurt. On the asphalt, on the other hand, is way easier to practice to roll. On the grass, because it is bumpy, it is a little harder because you will need to adjust the board with the front and back balance. One thing that's interesting to know is that over 1 mile an hour, you can move your feet no problem. The board knows that it is engaged and you are rolling. So if it's just to replace your feet comfortably on the front pad while you're rolling, the board will know and will not disengage. But if you're riding under 1 mile, the board will disengage if it senses that your feet is not on one of the sensors. Before you're going for a long ride, I highly recommend that you practice your hop on the board and how to dismount the board, because when you're riding the Onewheel, you never know when you'll need to stop, like for a dog, for a kid, or because you need to stop because your legs are tired. Once you have those two down, then you're good to go. And please don't get discouraged. Keep going and you'll get better. See ya.